on the computer. So first of all, everyone, good evening. Have another good news. So Rachel, tell them the good news.
Yes, I passed my math exam. I'm officially a GED graduate. Thank you guys so much. With hard work and determination and Mr. Tinsley class and his ebook, trust me, I got it.
Wow, good for you.
So
Thank
congratulations. I love to hear news like that. Because what happened was
Yes.
she sent me the email over the weekend, but I was in so much pain I couldn't even
Yes,
answer.
I did.
I was, oh my
Wow.
goodness. I
I'm
saw
so
it and I was telling my wife, I was like, I got good news because I usually get the tributes out the same day.
Yeah.
I could barely move. So I did get it out today though. Did you see it?
Yes, I did. I liked it on Facebook too.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, so
Yes,
let's
I
get
did.
started. Is there any problems or anything that you worked on this week that gave you particular difficulty, or you want to go over? Because that's what this is really for. Like, so sometimes, like I had somebody send me an email like, Mr. Tinsley, you went over the same thing twice. Well, it's because the people who were in their session, this is what they had an issue with. Because every night it's a different group of people. It's about 12 to 18 people a night. So during the week while you're practicing, write those problems down so you know what questions to ask. Good evening, Penny, Sylvia. How are y'all doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. So anything that anybody's been working on this week that they had problems with? Let's see. We should have the question and the answer. Okay. So I've seen that quite a few people have problems with probability. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Here, let's see if we can get this problem. I don't know why is it becoming bigger? Yeah, but they give you the right answer. Oh well. All right, so let's look at this problem. This is a probability question. Now, again, if you don't have problems, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through what people do on Schoology, and the ones people miss the most, that's the ones I'm going to go over. So this problem, several people got this wrong. So Susie opened a big bag of gummy bears. She recorded how many bears of each color she had. And there's a table there for red, green, yellow, orange, and white. If Susie randomly picked a gummy bear from the bag, what is the probability she would pick an orange bear? Did anybody have any idea at all how to do this problem?
Well, would you have to add all of them up and then have what color she needed? Orange over, what is it? Yeah, orange over the whole amount.
That's 50,
Yeah,
80,
I would have
100, it looks like
proportion.
150.
Over 30 over 150. What you have to do? Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So the probability to find the orange, this is simple probability, basically, is just the number of orange
Over the whole.
over the total.
Yeah.
And people think they have problems with probability. Listen, if you're going to get 1 or 2 questions on probability, one is going to be a simple probability. If they give you 2, one is going to be a compound probability. But all you got to remember is, how do I find a simple probability? To do compound probability, you just find the simple probability of each event, and then you just multiply them together. Now, this is, if we reduce this, we get 1 over 5, which is 0.2, or 20%. So you have to be ready to answer this question as a fraction, a decimal, or a percent. Okay, you have to be ready. Now, again, if you were doing this on a calculator, do I have my calculator open? No, I don't. Let me open it real quick. If you're doing this on the calculator, because you know I love the calculator, I think it should be your best friend by the time you take this exam. You should be doing about half your exam with the calculator, at least half. And you should be, as you're practicing on Schoology, you should, no problem, should be taking you longer than 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. If they are, those are the ones you're going to keep in mind, because those are the ones, those types of problems are the ones you're going to skip when you get to the real test. Now, I didn't say you're not going to answer them. You're going to skip them until you finish the exam. So let me make this a little bigger here. I'm going to make the calculator a little bigger. Okay, there we go. So we're going to hit ND. The number of orange is 30. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm not even gonna make a mistake. Like I did a mental math before, but guess what? I'm gonna go 50 plus 15 plus 20 plus 30 plus 35. Put in parentheses. I'm gonna hit enter. I get 1/5, change it to a decimal, 0.2, change it to a percent, 20%. That way you don't have to make a mistake. The calculator will do a lot of the calculations for you. So I want you to get in the habit of using this as much as you can, because you should, what I would suggest is you should be at least doing half the exam, at least half the exam with your calculator. Okay, so that's 20%. All right. Again, did anybody think of any other problems that they have problems with? Okay, I'll grab another one. Let's go to preview here. So I saw people having problems with linear equations as word problems. So I want to give you like just a simple tip, for example. Let me put this on the screen. Let's do the ones you probably going to see most likely are like 2 and 3. Make it nice and big. And I'm going to do both of them for you. The cost of a school banquet is $95 plus $15 for each person attending. Right, an equation. So that's the key right there. It tells you to write an equation. So right away, what is the slope-intercept form of a linear equation? What is the slope-intercept form of a linear equation?
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
That's just for the slope. I want the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. Does anybody know that?
It's y equals mx plus b.
Y equal mx plus b. You have to know the two forms. That's, you know, for most intents and purposes, that's the form you're going to use for the GED. They do have standard form. They do have a point slope form. They're on your GED formula sheet, but the slope-intercept form is the most common one. That and standard. So I will make sure I know it. Now, what does the M stand for?
The
The
M
slope.
is the slope.
What does the B stand for?
The y-intercept.
The y-intercept. Okay, so when we look at this, and this is what people have issues with, but it's very easy. What you notice about y equal mx plus b, right? What you should notice anyway, it's dependent upon what this x is.
Right.
Because this x is variable. It has a variable, x. Well, what does variable mean? To change.
Yeah.
Variable means to change. So that means that value can change. So if I got 1, it'll change to one thing. If x is 2, it'll change to something else. So that's what they mean. So that's the key. That's the key point to understand variable and constant. Well, constant means it's not going to change.
That's the 95.
That's the 95. So this is your B.
Yep.
What's your M?
Yeah, M is 77.
Nope.
Nope. 15. Sorry, 15x.
15. See, look at that terminology. 15 for each person. So
That's
if it's
right.
one person, it's 15 times 1. If it's two people, it's 15 times 2. That can change. That's variable. That's how you know it's M. So now this is, now if you know M is 15, you know B is 95. What's my equation?
Okay, your equation is, okay, we got 15x.
Y equals 15x plus 95.
That easy.
Yep.
Y equals 15x plus 95. That easy. That's your equation.
Yep.
Now, the second part of this is, it says, what is the cost for 77 people? So what is that 77? What am I going to substitute that as?
The x.
The x. So now this becomes, I'm running out of room. So y equal 15 times 77 plus 95. Well, again, listen, this is me. I love to use the calculator. I'm not going to take any chances. So I'm going to grab my calculator. Oops, I can't grab it yet because it's it covers everything. So let me move this. Let me take a picture of this first. And then I'm going to grab my calculator. I'll clear everything out so we can
It's
all be,
12:50
so when we look at the video, watch this. 15 times 77 plus
Mm,
95.
95, 12:50.
I'm done.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Because once you get in the habit, if you go on Schoolies and take that word problem for linear equations, you'll be able to identify what's changing and what's not. What's not changing is your constant is going to be your B. What's variable, what can change is going to be your slope. Get your equation line, plug it in. So once you start practicing, you'll be able to see it no matter how they give it to you, and you'll be ready. All right, so that was another one people had problems. Let's look at number 3. So what I want to do now is I'm gonna give everyone a chance to do number 3. So when you have your equation in line for 3, I want you to send it
Okay.
to me in the chat. Okay, it says Billy plans to paint baskets. The paint costs $14.50. The baskets cost $7.25 each.
Right.
Write an equation that gives the total cost as a function of the number of baskets made. And then, so I want each person to try to write the equation in line. And then we're going to do the second part that says determine the cost of 4 baskets. And I don't know if you know this, but this is real life. So if you know anybody selling platters, this is what they should be doing to make a price for their platters. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is that, oh, you know what, I'm just going to charge $15. Well, if you don't know your expenses, if you don't know your variable costs, you're going to be in trouble. So what you think you're making all this money, you only be making $1.50 or $2 a platter. You better know your expenses and know how to use this. This is a real life example of how you use linear equations. So let's, again, I'm gonna set the timer for 2 minutes. I was gonna give you 3 minutes. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes for the equation of the line. Hold on, let me find my clock. There we go. 2 minutes, begin now. And you can send it to me in the chat.
I'm looking for the
Identify
check.
what's changing and what's not changing.
Okay. I don't know if that's
Sharon, that is correct.
okay.
That is correct. So the next part of that is how much would 4 baskets cost?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to extend it 1 minute. I don't know how my alarm changed to that sound, but fix that. So Penny, you are correct.
You want us to put the answer in it too?
Yes, in the answer. So Penny, you are correct. But
Okay.
remember, I want the equation in line first, which is y equal mx plus b. Then I want the answer.
Okay.
Okay, Penny? Okay, now, that was 3 minutes. So you might be saying, Mr. Tenzie, oh my God, that's too fast. I didn't have enough time. This is how you should be working at home. You should be giving yourself, because the average amount of time that you should be spending on a problem is 3
That's right.
minutes. Well, where did I get that 3 minutes from? Your test is 120 minutes, you got 40 questions. So some you're going to answer faster than others, but in your mind, you should have that timer and be setting yourself. That way you won't get nervous and so anxious when you're taking an exam. You're used to under a time limit, you'll be fine. All right, so where should we start? So only 2 people answered, and we got 2, 5, 6, 11. So we got 11 people. So where should we start? Where should we start?
What we are given.
Okay, what are we giving?
Okay, we got the cost of the paint
Okay, the paint costs $14.50. What else?
and the basket and how much the baskets cost each.
Okay, each. What else? What do they want to know?
They want to know the total cost as a function of the
But what
number.
important word do we need first that you're missing? Equation. Write an equation. So that's what they want. They want an equation in line first. So we know equation in line, you should be thinking of what again?
Y mx plus b.
Y equal mx plus b. Okay, so now we want to identify what m is and what b is. Now we got to know the paint is $14.50. So no matter how many baskets we paint, how much does the paint cost?
The paint cost is the constant. I mean, that's the B. Yeah.
You understand what I just said? So if we make 1 basket, if we make 2 baskets, if we make 3 baskets, we know the paint is a cost that's not going to change until we run out.
Yep.
So is that M or B? B.
Yeah.
What is M?
M is the 7.25. $7.25.
7.25. So if we know our slope is 7.25, and we know our B is 14.50, what is going to be our equation in the line?
Y equals 7.25x plus 1450.
That's your equation in the line. Right there. Now, some mistakes that people have been making. Okay, that is the equation line. But a lot of times, right, they might put it as an improper fraction. They might have the results. They might not have it as 2.5x or 7.25x. They'll have it as an improper fraction. Well, what is 7.25 as an improper fraction? How would I? Now, normally when you talk about money, you don't have to worry about that. But say I did want to change it, my slope to an improper fraction, what would I do? What is 7 1/4 as a fraction?
Is it 7 1/4?
7 1/4. And what is 7 1/4 as an improper fraction? So that's 7. That's a mixed number. But what's
28, 29 over 4.
29 over 4. So we could write it as y equal 29 over 4x plus 1450. Now, is it usually going to be written like that when they talk about money? No. But what I have seen is people make a mistake. So when they use the calculator, it came out to 1.5. But when they look at the multiple choice, it said y equal 3/2 x. And they made it, they didn't know that 1.5 was 3/2. Again, use your calculator. You cannot make those mistakes. Because why? You can use your calculator. Watch this.
I use mine.
Everything out, and that number was what? 7.25. How would I change the 7.25 to an improper fraction? Anybody know? How would I, using my calculator, how would I change 7.25 to an improper fraction? Using the calculator. Mm-hmm.
Let me see. How did I do it? Do you use the second button What did I use?
N divided by D.
Yeah,
So here, not N divided by D.
the
So let
other
me show
one.
you.
Yeah,
So right here, in that green,
yeah, that's the
it
one with the
says
10x.
ND, arrow, arrow.
Yeah.
Anytime you see an arrow, think it convert. So it means change an improper fraction to a mixed number. That U is the whole number. So all we're going to do is hit that second, hit that right there, press enter, and that's our mixed number, right? How are we going to change to an improper fraction? It should have changed it. I don't know why it didn't. We can change to an improper fraction. Can we?
Let's see.
So everyone does know 7.25 is 7 1/4, right? Does everybody know that? Okay, so you also want to know your fraction decimal percent equivalence. You should know when you go into this test, you have to know 1/2 is 0.5, 1/3 is 0.33, 1/4 is 0.25, 1/5 is 0.2, 1/8 is 0.125, 1/9 is 0.11, 1/10 is 0.1. You have to. You have to. All right. So now we want to make. Now, how much does the last question was? How much did 4 cost? Right. So let's clear. Let me clear this out first. Clear everything out. And our equation. So even though our equation was y equal 7.25x, was it 1450? I forgot that quick. Was it 1450?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this is our equation. Okay, we're not going to put the y equal into the calculator. What we're going to do is if we want to know how much 4 costs, we want to take that 4 and plug it in as x. So what are we going to type on our calculator?
$725 times 4 plus 1450.
There we go. If you notice, do you hardly ever see me hit the times button? Do you hardly ever see me hit the division button? No, I don't. For multiplication, I use parentheses. For division, I use ND. Why? Because most of the time, as we're putting these in, that's the easiest way. This looks exactly like 7.25 times x plus 1450.
Yeah.
4350. And we have our answer. It's a nice, easy problem. You're going to have, when we talk about these types of problems, you're going to have 1 or 2 of these. They're on every single exam. Every single exam. You're going to have 1 to 2 of these. And what they're going to ask you is, but it never works out to like a whole number. So for example, they might say, how many lessons can he afford given this equation? They might have 11, 12, 13, 14. Remember, we're using the whole number. Like for example, say for example, let me see if I can find one real quick. Can't find one. What? Let me, if I can make one up. I don't really want to make one, but I can. Let me see, where's my dude at? There we go. Say, for example, where's my blank page? Let me see, lessons costs $12. Entry fee, sign up, what's it called? Startup fee, startup costs is, I don't know how much of LA Fitness can cost $10. I don't know. So my question is, how many lessons can I get for $50? Is the answer A, B, C, D? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 6? So lessons cost $12 each. Startup cost is $10. How many lessons can I get for $50. How would I do that problem? Can anybody tell me how I would do that problem? Is the answer 3, 4, 5, or 6? And a lot of times on the GED, that's exactly how you're going to see the multiple choice. They're going to be all close to each other to see if you can get it. Now, why don't we see? Well, let's see. If I wanted to solve this, how would I set it up? So how would I even set this up? If I wanted to solve this algebraically, anybody know how I would solve this? So what is my B? What is my M?
Okay, your B is 50. And
My B is 50.
it
No,
says
your
that's
B is 12.
Your B is 12.
no, your B, if it's 12 each, that's M.
That's M. Okay, because
Okay.
each lesson is 12. What's
Yeah,
my
that's-
B?
Okay. So if it's costing $50, the $50 don't change, correct?
It doesn't change. You're right, but it can change. It's always gonna
Okay,
be
so
$50.
it's $10.
Right, because remember, y
Right, I got you.
equal
I got you.
mx plus b.
Plus B, right.
So what happens is this is your M, this is your B. How much you spend ultimately
Oh,
is your
right,
Y,
right.
but they're giving you your Y.
They gave it to you.
Okay, so if
Okay.
you said, okay, 50
It's 50.
equal 12x
12,
plus 10.
10.
Right.
So when I
So-
subtract 10 from both sides,
Mm-hmm.
you get 40 equal 12x. If I divide both sides by 12, I don't even know what that is. So that's 12 and 3. That's
Yeah.
36. That's 4. So that's 4 1/3, right? So I get 4.33 or 4 1/3. Am I
So
right?
it's 4.
It's 4.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
I think that's 3.3.
Exactly. 12 going to 43 times.
3
That's
times.
36.
Ah,
So 3.33. So how many lessons could I get for $50?
3.
3.
3.
Now,
I
okay,
ain't
what
even-
if this answer came out to 3.67? Would the answer be 3 or 4?
Or 4.
4.
That's the mistake most people make right there.
Because, okay, say the answer again is 3 what? No, I'm serious.
3.4.
You
So
said
listen to what
3.4,
I'm telling
right?
you. What most people do is they round that answer off. That's
Okay.
not That's not
That's
what
my
you're doing.
mistake. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
mistake. Yeah.
They're asking you how many lessons can you afford? I mean, can you get? Well, lessons, there's only whole lessons. There's no part lessons. So you either got 3
So
or you got 4. If it's
You got 3.
3.67, do we have enough for 4 lessons?
no,
No. So your answer is still 3. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make, are rounding off that answer and selecting.
leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Now, hold on, Mr. Tinsley. This 50 equal 12x. Could I have done this another way? Yes. I don't have to identify this as a linear equation. It is. But I can also take my multiple choice and say 3 times 12
Mm-hmm.
And plug
plus
him in.
10.
That's
What do I get? 46.
Yeah.
4 times 12 plus 10 equal 58. Well, I just got
much.
my answer without doing
Yep.
any algebra.
Yep. Too much. Yep.
Boom, still my answer is 3. Okay, that's the common sense way. Sometimes what happens is we go into a problem and we think, oh, I gotta do it algebraically, I gotta do it this way. Sometimes just use the common sense way. Especially if you got the multiple choice answers. Take the multiple choice in, plug them in.
Yeah.
And you can get your answer
That makes
much
sense.
faster. All right, so another one I saw. Oh, yes. Yes. This is another one I saw.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I saw. So what happens is, this is what I actually do. When people go on Schoology and they're doing all the tests, right? I look at, what they're doing, and I look at the ones people make the mistakes on the most. I can see what problems are giving people the most issues. Okay, so let me find this one here. Hold on. Where's that one? Right there. Okay, I'm gonna put, okay, I'm gonna write this on the screen. So I'm gonna write 2 questions on the screen. 2x. 2. I want to know the slope of each of these equations. How can I find the slope? Now, I didn't say I want the y-intercept. I only want the slope of both of these equations. Can somebody tell me how I would calculate the slope of both of these equations?
Well, for the first one, I will isolate y.
Yep.
And how do you do that?
Subtract
2x,
You guys subtract 2x on both sides, correct?
y.
No.
I will isolate y.
So how do you, so you want to isolate y. So if you want to get y by itself,
By
you need to
itself,
get rid of what?
2x,
2x,
2x. So the opposite of 2x is
negative 2x.
negative
negative
2x.
2x. Whatever I do on one side,
You got to do to the other.
Yeah.
the x's cancel. I get y equal 22 minus 2x. Is that in slope-intercept form?
Not yet.
So what can I do to those 2 terms on the right side?
Gotta switch them.
Switch them. So I'll put my minus 2x first. This doesn't have a sign in front of it, but my 22 is what? Negative or
Positive.
positive.
Plus, it's a plus.
So what's my slope?
Why? Oh, a negative 2.
Negative 2.
2x
This
plus
is
20.
this is how they want you to do it. Okay. I'd show
Okay.
my students a little different way, a much faster way. And I'm gonna show you how to do it right now.
Yes,
Okay,
you
so
do.
so let me go back. So this is how they want you to do it. When they have an equation like this, they want you to isolate the y in the slope-intercept form and get your slope. I
Mhm.
show a little different way. What I let you know this is called standard form. So what I want you to do, baby, is look at a linear equation and identify whether it's standard form or slope-intercept form right away. When I
That's
look at
standard.
this,
That's
standard
standard right
form
there.
is ax plus by equals c.
Mhm.
So in order to find the slope, all I'm doing is taking the opposite of a. So whatever term is in front of this x, what's the opposite of 2?
Negative 2.
What's the term, what's the number, what's the value in front of y?
1.
1.
1. Bam, I'm done. 15 seconds, negative 2. So this is, they give you in a standard form, you're just taking the opposite of a, putting it over b, get your slope. But that's gave people issues. Now the second one, I was very surprised. A lot of people got this one wrong. A lot of people incorrectly identify the slope. Again, there's 2 things you got to understand these 2 formats. Slope-intercept. And this is why on those flashcards, I have them. You have to know that form. mx plus b. That's slope-intercept form. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. If you know those forms, you know how your equation needs to look like at the end. Does minus 2/5 x plus y equal negative 4? Is that slope-intercept form or standard form?
Standard form.
Huh?
Yeah, it is. It is standard form. But that'll be much harder to do. You got to do a negative 2/5
Yeah.
over, right? That's
Yeah.
that's a whole bunch of work, right? So in
Yeah.
this case, are you right? That is standard form. But can we easily change it to slope-intercept form?
You can.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How?
I can't even see it.
Isolate.
Yeah.
And you want
Same
to
way
get
you
y
do it.
by itself. So what
Yes.
do we need to
Yeah.
get rid of to get y by itself?
The
Negative
negative 2
2/5.
Add
over
negative
5.
2/5.
Negative
Yeah.
2/5 x. What's the opposite of negative 2/5 x?
5
x?
to 2/5.
No, not negative 2, not positive
I-
2/5. Positive 2/5 what?
X.
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 I'm sorry.
Whatever we do to one side,
Gotta do the other.
so they cancel. We're left with y equal what?
Can't even see the whole
2/5
problem.
2/5 plus
Minus
4.
4.
Oh,
Minus
there it
4.
is.
Plus
2/5 what? 2/5
Minus
X.
4.
2/5 x.
X,
You cannot
X
forget that
minus.
x.
Minus
2/5
4.
x minus 4. What's my slope?
2 over 5.
What's my y-intercept?
Negative
Negative
4.
Negative 4.
Makes it easy. Makes it easy. So what they've been doing recently is they've been having some standard form questions. We gotta be able to identify standard form. Okay. Another one people have been having problems with. It was like this. What's the slope of this problem?
Well, don't you have to do the problem?
Distributed property, I would
Yeah,
first.
you have to
Okay,
distribute.
so do distributed
yeah.
property first. So y minus 5 equal. What do you mean by distributed property?
You got
the
to
Times X.
2 times
multiply.
x,
Which
Yeah.
was 2 times x.
2x,
2x.
And then what's
2
next?
times -4 is a -8
8.
Okay.
minus 8. Okay.
So y minus 5 equal 2x minus 8. What's my last step?
Okay, let me see. Don't we gotta get the
Combine
y-
the like terms.
Okay, so how are we gonna get y by itself? What do we need to
You
do?
gotta add the 5
Add 5.
Add
plus
5 to
5
both
on both
sides.
sides. Yeah.
Add 5 to both sides. We get y equal 2x. What's minus 8 plus 5?
Minus 3.
-3.
Minus 3. What's
Negative,
my
yeah.
slope?
2x.
2x.
Two.
No.
2.
2. What's my y-intercept?
-3.
Now, remember I always tell you, math is about patterns. It
Yep.
really doesn't matter with this minus 5. That minus 5 is a constant. It's going to affect the y-intercept. But if they're just asking for the slope, you see 2 times x, slope 2. So whatever this number is here, outside that parentheses, that's going to be multiplied by x, is your slope.
Slope.
Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, we got some knowledge tonight. Y'all gonna go into this exam like, wow. All right, I saw this problem. Somebody sent this problem to me. And this is actually coming from the Canadian exam. Again, I'm helping people not only in the United States and Barbados and all over the world. I'm helping people in Canada, all over North America. I just love it. All right, so let's look at this
That's
question.
right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. At Southport College, walkways currently run between buildings as follows: from Hammond to Fields and from Fields to Watson, as shown in the diagram below. However, students walking from Hammond to Watson routinely cut across the lawn. If you ever been to a college campus, people always taking a shortcut through the lawn. Always. They wear that grass out. But the question is,
Okay.
Hanaya, who supervises maintenance, plans to propose a direct walkway from Hammond to Watson. In her report, what length in meters should she indicate for the proposed walkway? So we got 50, 52, 56, 58, and 68. Okay, so let me bring the diagram back. And this is A, B, C. Now, in America, they don't,
Okay.
I don't think they have 5 more. We have 4. So this is actually from the Canadian practice exam. A person sent me an email today, had problems with it. So what type of problem is this?
That looks like Pythagorean Theorem.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yes.
A plus
How
B
do you
plus
know it's a Pythagorean theorem problem?
Because it's a right angle and the way.
It's 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Right. So
And
the key
Mhm.
is you see this little square right there.
Mhm.
That tells you you got a 90-degree angle on your triangle. And to
Yep.
find the missing side of a right triangle, we use Pythagorean theorem.
There. Yep.
What is
Yes.
Pythagorean theorem?
A
A
squared
squared
B
plus
squared
B
squared
squared equals
to
C
C
squared.
squared.
That is Pythagorean theorem. Let me ask you a question. I'm not sure, and that's a whole lot of work. What's A going to be?
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
48.
It doesn't matter. It'd be 48.
48.
Or
It could be
20.
48 or
Or
it doesn't matter. How do you
It
know
doesn't
it
matter.
doesn't matter? How do you know it doesn't matter? Because I heard 3 people say it confidently, but how do you know it doesn't matter? Because most people going to say it does matter, and
No.
you're going to confuse them. Why
No,
doesn't
it
it
don't,
matter?
don't matter.
Either way you multiply, you're still gonna get the
We
same
get the
answer.
same. That's right.
Well, the reason why it doesn't matter, let me explain to you, is
Because
because
the hypotenuse is
opposite,
the hypotenuse.
the hypotenuse is opposite that 90 degree. Your
Yep.
A and B are interchangeable. So we're gonna have
Right.
20 squared plus 48 squared
Square.
equals C squared. What is 20
Yeah.
squared?
Oh, wait, that's like 4. Let
400.
me see. Yep. Let me see.
What's 48 squared? I have no idea.
2304.
2304
Wow, that's a
equals
lot.
C squared. What's 2304 plus 400?
Okay. 23.
2704.
2704. But this, where we are, it says C squared. How can we get C all by itself?
Square root.
Square
Don't you
root.
got to square it?
Take
Square
the
root of
square
it.
root of both sides. Not square.
Yep.
Then take the square
Square
root
root
of both sides.
of both sides, correct.
What is the square root of 2704?
I'm about
52.
to find out. Somebody done did it.
52.
So our answer is
52.
B. Now, let me ask you a question. That's a whole lot of work. So if anybody who went through my ebook, right? Tell me how you can do this in less than 30 seconds. Let me grab my calculator because you should be, if you went through my ebook, this problem, when you see it's Pythagorean theorem and you have a missing side, you should be laughing all the way to the bank because you know this is a 15 to 20-second problem. So if you have my ebook, let me get my calculator
got
on
it
the
too.
screen.
Yeah.
Let me get my calculator on the screen. Can somebody tell me what you should
Forgot.
type in to get this problem in less than 15 seconds?
I would square root all of the numbers. 20
Mhm.
and
Square root?
plus 48 square root. And you give you the answer right away.
Square root of what?
48
You
square.
said 48
48
plus
plus
20.
24 plus 20.
No, 48 what?
Square.
Square
Square
plus 20
plus 20
square.
square.
Look, watch that. I'm done. 15
Bam.
seconds. Bam.
52.
Look at that.
That's it.
Yep.
So these are some of the tips that I'm trying to explain to you. So instead of you spending a minute and a half doing that manually,
Yeah.
you know you don't have the hypotenuse, you taking the square root of those squares, you add them, boom, 48 squared plus 20 squared. Okay, all right, so that we did some work tonight. I'm loving it, and it was one more. It was a compare two sources problem. Let me find it. Give me like 2 minutes here. Let me find it. And this is, again, these are all on Schoology. Again, you can take these exams up to 5 times, but if you take it more than once, I want you to go through the problem and do it all the way from beginning to the end. I don't want you to say, oh, I remember that answer is B. That's the biggest mistake people make. Oh, I took this practice test already. I seen this answer is B. But when they change it up and give you 50 paragraphs of information on the exam, that your brain ain't thinking, oh, it's B.
Right.
Right?
Right.
All right, let's look at this. Now, again, this is on my site. You can flag for review. You can skip it. Let's look at this. The equation, y = 42x, represents the number of highway miles that a 2018 Honda Civic can travel on X mile of gas. Which data display shows a car with worse gas miles than the Civic? So the Hyundai Elantra, the Nissan Sentra, the Kia Forte, or I put randomly and I mixed them up. And every time you take this test, I mix up the multiple choice. So that's why none is B. But how will we even do this problem? How can we figure it out? Which data display shows a car with worse gas miles? How can we figure that out?
Okay.
We had to divide the
Can't even
numbers.
see it.
21.
Right. So we're going to
20.
find unit rate, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do
Yeah.
we know? Miles per
hour.
gallon. What
Per
word does
gallon.
per mean?
Multiply.
Times.
No, per does not mean
Divide.
multiplication.
Divide.
Divide.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
So it
They right.
kind of tell, if you see that word per, you know you divided something.
Yeah.
Miles
because-
per gallon. So that means
Or
miles divided by gallon. So in this first one, I could take any one of these points. I could take 3 and 129, 5 and 215. Why?
Uh-huh.
Because a linear equation It's a constant rate of change. It doesn't
Okay.
change between points. So it doesn't matter which one I'm gonna take. I'm gonna do the 215 divided by 5
Okay.
because I know 5 goes into 240 times, 5 going to 15, 43. So does this car have better gas mileage?
Well,
Well, you
if
gotta
it's more,
compare to the
no.
other ones.
Okay, watch this. Remember, miles per gallon. How many gallons is that? We have an equation. 42 times 1 is what?
42.
42.
So if this gets 42, this Hyundai Elantra gets how many miles per gallon?
It's more gallons. More.
Oh,
It gets
43.
more, so it doesn't get less. So that's not it.
gets
So
more?
it's not the
No.
first one.
Mm-mm.
Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now we got to remember that 42. Let's go down to the Nissan Sentra. Again, we can use any point. It doesn't
4
say 1,
divided
2, 3,
by-
4, 5. It doesn't say 2, 4, 6, 8. It says 4, 7, 8. That's to throw you off.
Just
You
divide
got to
one of them.
understand this is a case where you got to find unit rate. How much is 1 gallon? How far 1 gallon is going to get me? So what am I going to do?
You're going to divide
Divide what?
any of them. 4. I can't even see
168
it.
by 4.
4, 6.
How many times does 4 go into 16?
Where's the calculator?
How many
It's
times does 4 go into
42.
16?
4.
4. How many times does 4 go into 8?
Well,
42.
40. It's 42.
So does this get worse gas mileage?
No.
No.
It's the same.
It's the same. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's the same. Okay, so it's not the Nissan Sentra. Let's go to the third one.
2 divided by, is that 78? I can't.
That's 78. I apologize. 78 divided by 2. So we know 80 divided by 2 is what?
39.
40. So
She
we know it
said
got to be
40.
less. So
39.
78 divided by 2
That's
is
39.
39. What I'm saying is, what I did was mental math. I saw this 2. I know I can divide any number by 2. And I know 80 divided by 2 is 40. So I know
Yep.
right away, this is better. This is going to have worse gas mileage, right?
Yeah.
It's only get 39. But I know mental math tells me, well, it's close to 80, so it's less than 40, right? So I know it's worse. So anyway, but listen, you're going to see a problem like this. You're going to see a problem where they're going to give you an equation, a graph, and a table. You're going to get it. If anybody took the exam, you can say, well, Mr. Tisney is right. I sure did. So let's go one more example because time is flying tonight. It is already 6:51. Again, say you didn't notice the answer to this problem and you selected this, but you wasn't 100% sure. On the practice test that I have on Schoology, you can flag for review. So if you need to come back to it when you finish, you'll see all the flag values just like you would take in a real exam, the real GED exam. I want you to remember that. Okay, let's go to this one right. So we have a equation, we have a graph, we have a table, we have another table, and we have another graph. Oh my goodness. So most people would see this and be like, I don't know what to do. Again, it's just giving you information in different ways. So let's read the question. Now, I got to, the equation y equal 255x represents the gross sales that Bling Bikes makes by selling X bicycles. Somebody actually sent me this problem in an email. I thought it was an incredible problem. So whoever made it up, this is indicative of a GED question. I don't know where they got it from, but I was sure happy they sent it to me. That Bling Bikes makes by selling X bicycles. Which display shows a company that makes less money per bicycle? So first of all, how can we find out how much Bling Bikes make to sell one bicycle? How much are they going to make? Anybody tell me?
I can see the entire screen.
Oh no, all we doing is looking at this right here.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Y equal 255x. How much they going to make for selling each bicycle?
It's that okay. Well, if you're talking about the gross sales,
If they
That's
sell one bike, how much are they going to make?
55.
255.
255. It's
55.
Y equal 255
$255.
times 1 equal 255. So
Okay.
Bling Bike sells each bike for $255. You had to know that they're giving you that equation and it's unit rate. So you got to multiply that by 1. If you don't know that, you don't know where to go next. You don't even know how
So
to
it's
look at this problem.
255 times X.
No.
No,
But X is going to be what?
1.
1.
So that's where we get the 255 from. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Now, let's walk down. Let's look at the first graph.
Okay.
So I'm going to make the first graph a little bigger so we can all see it clearly.
All
I don't know
right.
why I'm having problems making my screen bigger today. Let's look.
Okay.
How much is one bike going to cost? And what this is Speedies. How much is one bike going to cost? You have to be able to look at data in a graph and differentiate and understand what it means. And understand the differences between a table, a graph, and an equation. How much does one bike cost at Speedies?
200.
Where did you get 200? I don't even see the number 200. Where did you get
Because
200
you gotta
from?
go from 5, 4, let me see. 1, 2,
100.
It's going by
over
500.
here.
Exactly. So what you do is, this is another mistake people make.
You
A lot
gotta
of times
count
with
the
slope, you got to understand what each grid line stands for. So from here to here is 500, and you
Yeah.
got 1, 2, 3,
2,
4 in
3.
between there. That's
Mhm.
100 apiece. So this is 400,
300.
300,
200.
200, 100.
Yep.
So what you would do is say the difference between these two is 500. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 100 for each tick mark. So when I go up to that 1, I come straight up. So I get to that line.
It's 200. Yep.
Then I come over to my Y,
And 200.
$200.
And 2 bikes is 400.
2 bikes is 4, but to
Okay, I'm just saying.
compare,
Okay.
you
the
want to
other bike.
compare unit rates. How much one costs? So for at Speedies,
One is
it costs
$200.
$200. Now, what are we looking for though? Like, what are we trying to find? We're trying to find what? It
Costs
shows
less money.
costs less money. So do we have our answer already?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
What do you
if
mean,
that
kind of?
you do,
Because you have to
that
compare the other ones, the other
it's
graphs to see.
Whoa. If we're trying to find which bike is cost less, did we find our answer?
I would say not quite. You have to compare the rest of the graphs in
Okay,
the chart.
listen to what I'm saying. Look at the question. Which
It says-
data display shows a company that makes less money per bicycle? Does this make less money per bicycle?
yes.
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 You don't even have to
Mhm.
look anymore because it's only
No.
one. So
Mr.
because this is
Tenzi.
200 and 200 is less than
Less than
255,
255. Yeah.
we done. But
Yeah, 'cause
I
I was
understand
try-
what you're saying. Let's look at the other ones to make sure. So if we have a table, this would be 930 divided by 3. Each of these is 310. That's pedaling
That's
bikes.
divide them. Mhm.
Yeah.
If we go to two-wheeler Willys, 680 divided by 2 is 340. So were we right? Yes. But like you said, to me, when you're looking for that answer, understand what you're looking for. We should understand from the beginning. We want to find out which one makes less. So right when we saw that 1 to 200, we done. You don't have to look at the rest of them.
Yeah.
But
Mr. Tenzi.
I understand you want to check it. Yes.
Why was it not 100 why was it 200 instead of 100 when you get to the
Okay.
like right
Wonderful
here?
question. So
Because you gotta go
remember,
with a red line at.
500 divided by 5 is 100. So each tick mark is 100. So that's 1, 2, 300,
Oh, okay.
400.
I got it now.
See
So
where the
when if I want to
line
know how
cross?
much one costs, I'm going up to this line. When I hit that line, I'm coming
where it
over to my
cross.
Y.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as somebody, I heard somebody say 2 bikes would cost
I did.
400.
400. Yeah.
3 bikes would cost
600.
It's like
600.
you,
But
it's
look
like
what
you
we
use-
just did. Once you
That's-
know how much one bike costs, you can just multiply to know how many any number of bikes would cost. So even if they said, okay, how much does 12 bikes cost? Well, I know one bike is 200. So 12 bikes will be 200 times 12.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Understand that that unit rate is very important, because once you find out how much one costs, it doesn't matter what they ask you. They can ask you how much 63 costs. You know you're multiplying
2040.
200 times 63. Got me?
Okay. Yep.
Ooh, we learning some things tonight.
Well, that's like finding the slope. Oh,
But guess what? You are finding the slope. That's
mhm.
what this is.
Yeah.
But because it's unit rate, understand, a slope is the constant rate of change. So watch this. I'm going to prove it to you. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. 1,700 minus 680 divided by 5 minus 2. So y2 minus
Mhm.
y1 over
Mhm.
x2 minus x1. So that's what, 1,020
Yeah.
Yes.
divided by 3, right? So you get 3, 4, oh, so we
340.
get 340. So if I said this, what's the slope of this graph? Your slope is equal to the cost of one bike,
Mhm.
because the slope is a constant rate of change. Stop playing. So in this case, when you have no y-intercept, your slope is just dividing one by the other. But if we had a y-intercept, then those numbers would change and you would have to do the whole thing. But that's a different story. In this case, with unit rate, you didn't have to do that. And they're going to give you a question like this too. I can almost guarantee anybody taking an exam, I can guarantee you're going to see a question like that. You're going to see a
Well,
question
I'm
like that.
glad
And
I
the
saw
last
it.
one I saw for the night. What was that one? What was it? What was it called? Oh, parallel and perpendicular. Parallel and perpendicular. That's what it was. Parallel and perpendicular. Yes, yes, yes. Let me put it on the screen. This is the last one we're going to do. Most people did get this right, but I marked 3 exams early this morning, and 3 people got this back to back to back, got it incorrect. So I'm gonna make sure. Oh, no, that's a parallel one. That's not the one. That is not the one. It was a perpendicular one. That was a perpendicular one. What did I just do? And that's the last one for the night. There we go. There we go. There we go. Make it a little smaller. Let's make it, there we go. So you can see the whole problem. Find the equation of the line passing through the given point and perpendicular to the given equation. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. Hold on, Mr. Tenzi, but the equation they're giving us is not in slope-intercept form. It's in standard form. So how am I going to do this problem? Can anybody tell me how you would even begin to do this problem? Can't see it?
No,
You must be working from your phone.
I am. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
How about that? Is that a little better?
Yeah. Because I wind up doing them anyway when I go home.
Okay. So how would I even start this problem? Like, first of all, what should you be doing for any problem? Identify your what first?
You're given.
You're given
You're given. So what is given to us in this problem?
X and
X
Y.
and Y.
X and Y. So we know
Mhm.
X is -4. We know Y is 1. What else is given to us?
The y-intercept is given.
An equation.
The equation is given.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is a standard form. So you should know from my classes or from my ebook that we're going to do -A over B. So A is going to be what?
1.
-1.
-1. So negative A is what? If A is -1, what's negative?
It's 1.
What's B?
I would tell you, but I can't see it.
What's
-20.
B?
So B over C.
So remember, AX plus BY equals C. So we have -X plus 2Y equal -20. What's B?
2.
2.
2.
2y.
So our not 2Y, what's B?
It's just 2.
2.
2.
Just 2.
So now you're gonna do C.
So now
over
we know
2.
our slope is what?
1/2.
Half.
1/2. So the first thing we're going to identify is that slope. So we are given the point, we're given the slope, but I'm going to show you a little trick right here. I'm going to move this up
Okay.
just a little bit. I'm going to move this over a little bit. And that's the last
Oh.
problem we're going to do for the night. So I'm going to move this over here.
Okay.
I'll move my slope over here. Because what I want to show you is that sometimes you may not have to do everything for this problem. If I know my slope is 1/2, what's my slope of the perpendicular?
The
Opposite.
opposite.
The opposite of it. Reciprocal.
Mhm.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Wait. You said we doing perpendicular, right?
Perpendicular.
Isn't it the
So
opposite?
you gotta switch
Nope.
the
-1/2.
Nope. So let me make sure we understand. So parallel
Okay.
lines have the same slope. To
right.
find the slope of the perpendicular, you take the negative inverse. In
And-
layman's terms,
You gotta make
that
it
means
positive.
change the sign
Change the
and
sign.
flip.
Flip it.
Oh, okay.
Or
So it's
negative.
2
I see,
over 1.
I see the answer now. I
Negative.
see it.
It's negative.
So it's
2.
2. It's
Negative
2.
because 1/2 is
Mm.
positive, correct?
It's the
Mhm.
sign, right? Negative
So
2
negative.
over
So
1.
change the sign, negative. And now I want to flip it. So
Negative
negative
2
2
over
over 1 becomes what?
-2.
2, just
What is
negative
the
2.
only equation that has a slope of -2?
The first one.
The third
You're
one.
done.
First
You
one.
that
didn't
one.
have to. You didn't even have to use the point
Nope.
because what we did was we identified what the slope of that perpendicular line is. So now they all had. If more than one option had y equal -2x, then we would have to use the point. So then we would say
You have to do the whole
equal
problem.
mx plus b. Your
Yep.
y was, I don't even know what the point was. Hold on, let me get the point. Your y was 1 equal to slope is -2. I forget. Lord, I'll tell you if I had a memory, -4. Plus b, 1 equal +8 plus b, subtract 8 from both sides. We get -7 is equal to b. So if we had to do the whole problem, we still would get the slope is -2, the y-intercept is -7, y equal -2x minus 7. You're going to have a problem where they ask you the equation of either parallel or the perpendicular line. You have to know parallel lines have the same slope, and to find the slope of the perpendicular, you find the slope of the equation that they give you first, then you change the sign
Change
and
the
flip
sign
it.
and flip it.
So every time you're working on these, say it in your head.
Yep.
Slope is 1/2, change the sign and flip it. -2, and you keep doing it. So when you get to your test and you see one of those questions, either parallel, perpendicular, you laughing all the way to the bank. Oh, I got
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Okay.
Listen, being prepared will make you successful in life.
Yes, indeed.
So what most people do is they try to take shortcuts. The only way you're going to prepare yourself for this GED exam is once you understand the concept, is to practice it and practice it and practice it some more until you got it. Don't guess, don't remember the answers, work each of them out till you got it. And listen, now I think 80 is a good score. But you know how many people have taken this test 5 times, 7 times, 9 times, 12 times, 17 times? Because when you get to this test, you get nervous, you get anxious, you get frustrated. So what I want you to do is I need you to use this site to practice, practice, practice. When you take your practice test on Schoology, set that timer for 3 minutes a question. So you had the running clock in your head. So when you go to take that test and you know in your head you went past 3 minutes, pick A or D, flag it for review, keep it moving.
Okay.
The biggest reason people don't pass the GED math exam is because they don't finish. They run out of time and they got 4, 5, 6, 7 questions left, and all they do is no. if you see a problem, when you practice on Schoology, you should already know when you go to that GED exam, you should already know the concepts that give you trouble. So either two things you're going to do. You're going to practice till they don't give you trouble no more. Or you're going to say, you know what? It's not worth the time for me to study because it's only worth 1 point. So when I get to that problem like that, I'm going to pick A or D, and I'm going to skip past that problem, and I'm going to the next one. Because I'm not wasting that 3, 4, 5 minutes. I can use that 4 to 5 minutes to make sure I get the medium and easy questions correct. Again, you have to go into this exam with a strategy. First of all, by going on Schoology and timing yourself, you are training your brain not to get anxious. You are training your brain not to get frustrated. So when you're taking that exam and you finish 40 to 50 minutes early and you calling me on the other side when you finish, Mr. Tiz, I passed that thing, stop playing.
I'll call you back.
No, listen, I'm seriously. If you do a one-on-one with me, and I know when you're taking the exam, I need you to call me when you finish. Because I want to hear that feeling when you tell me you pass. I love it. It's no feeling like it. I love to hear it. When Rachel sent that email, my pain in my back from my sciatic was shooting up my back, down my thigh, into my buttocks. But when I read that email, said I passed, I jumped up. My wife said, I thought you said your back hurt. I said, I got good news.
I know that's right.
That's good. It's good to hear.
Love it. I love it. But listen, it is 7:10. Remember, preparation will prepare you for anything in life. Be prepared, whatever you go on in life, whether it's investment, whether it's work, whether it's for this GED exam. You prepare the best you can in everything you do, you'll see all the rewards you want. So it's just not a math lesson. It's a life lesson.
That's right. That's right.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Townsend.
That's right.
You are so welcome. So I will have it up on YouTube later tonight. I hope you enjoyed this session.
I did it.
If you're taking your exam in the next 30 days and you practice on Schoology, if you taking your test next 30, I should see a number. I see a number of times you taking the practice exam, and then the next thing I should hear is, Mr. Tinsley, can I get my one-on-one?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well,
Everybody have
thank
a
you
good
so
night.
much.
You're
Good night. Have a
welcome.
good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you're new, make sure your email is in the chat. If you are new, make sure your email is in the chat.
Mr. Tenzi, hi, this is Darlene. Mr. Tenzi, I have been looking for the signs in for you.
I mean, I meant